25.5. The very same way that I just did the totals, I can also do the average, the highest, and the lowest. If I would like to figure out the average number of dependents, then I need to go to the cell where I want the answer to be displayed. In this case, I'm going to go to C14. Now in this case, again, I go to the AutoSum button here. I click the arrow and I say give me the average. Now notice that Excel selected from C4 to C14. Now I want it to go only from C4 to C12. To do that, I could select again from here, click inside and drag it and bring it down to the cell that you want to be included. Always make sure that Excel selects the range that you want, not the one that it wants to give you. Okay, so at this point you can then press the check mark. Now if you know the name of the function, you don't even need to go to the pull down menu here and do it that way. I'm going to press delete, and if I know that the name of the function is average, I could type in equal, and as you start typing the characters A, V, it starts giving you different functions that start with those letters. Okay, so if it is average that I want, I can point and click here, double click, and then it types it for you. Okay, and it opens the parentheses. Now at this point you could say from where to where. Now you can also type in the range. You could say starting at C4. The way to say an ending is to put a colon. Okay, that shows a range. An ending at C12. And then notice that this box over here shows you the correct range. Then you close the parentheses and then you can click the check mark. Now let's figure out the highest number. So I click at the place where I want the answer, and I could go to the AutoSum in here and pick highest or max. Instead of doing it that way, I realized that I also have in here in the formula bar a symbol that represents functions. So I point and click in here and it opens up the list of functions. Now if you look in here, it says select a function, and it's showing you the most recently used. Now the most commonly used functions are sum, average, if. Now I see in here one called max, and max means the highest. So if you click max, double click it, it then says okay, what range should be included. So now you could type the actual range that you would like to include. So from C4 to C12. So you click in here and you type from C4 colon to C12. Okay, and then you click OK. So it says that the highest is 3. Let's go down to an Excel. Now we want to figure out the lowest. And again, if you know the name of the function, you can type it in. The name of the function is min. Now we're going to do it using the functions right here in AutoSum. So I go here and I look for min. And then Excel says, oh, you want the lowest number in this range. We need to say to Excel, look, you're wrong. It's not this range that I want, is from here, and you point and click at C4 and then you drag it down to C12. So this is the range where we want to find the lowest number. Okay, and then we click the check mark. Now since the same set of instructions that we have in here, we want to place all the way down to here, what we can do is to select from the first average to the first lowest. Okay, notice that we have this little dot in here. We can also copy these instructions over to the right, so I'm going to continue going to the right, and once I get all the way to column J, I'm going to let go. Now the number that we got in here for the average tax percentage is actually meaningless, so I'm going to click inside that cell and I'm going to press delete. Okay, at this point I want to save my work once again, so I'm going to do Control S. Notice that it didn't ask me for a name and it didn't ask me for a place where to save it, because when you use save, it automatically saves in the same place and under the same name as before.